All right, not much pre-market for this one. But it seems like the market in general is kind of just sticking around. I mean, we're up a little bit. I'm sure there's some point where people are just going to want to take some profits on some names. I mean, we're getting to this point here, right? KPTI, it's got a technical breakout now. The talk is, hey, these guys are probably going to be a decent takeover target. And that's okay. I'm happy with that. The problem is it $3 a share or $5 a share? I doubt it at this point. Any of these big pharmas that are going to be sitting there, I mean, this is how you can easily get some growth. Now, is it going to be... Selinexor is pretty interesting as a drug. It still has its biggest indications, I believe, to come. It's just the company didn't get it. The timing was bad. Like, the finances, the financial, the cash runway, the timing, and... the FDA's like, nah, we're going to need a little bit more on some of these things before we keep, just blasting through this. And, the data came out, and I think they had to niche or get a little bit more specific with the indication, because they found the subpopulation that worked very well in, and some of the other ones that didn't. So I think they kind of reformulated the indication or the trials. Maybe I should do an update on that sucker. Too much stuff to do. So I'm not surprised it's getting a bump here. Other names I wouldn't be surprised, like Blue probably being one of them. Another one would actually be right here, which is interesting. I was just thinking this last night. PBYI. They have Neuralinks, which is an approved drug, and that one honestly still has room to grow until in its own indications. And then they have alisertib. There it is, yeah. Alisertib. Yeah. This one's interesting because they have money coming in, and they got money coming in. They were a takeout target a long time ago. Ground down, and then it was an easy buy. Did a good job trading through it. But here's the thing, like, these guys used to just tear through cash, and now they're on the positive side. Now, this is probably true. They're probably going to tail off here a little bit because Neuralink sales are probably going to continue to deteriorate. Seagen has probably a better drug in many ways, especially in terms of side effects. Neuralink's GI is a major issue. You're supposed to be... This was the problem. Right off the bat, they knew that, and the prescribers, the doctors, were not prescribing the other drug along with it to stop them from having GI issues. And also, they weren't doing titration. They weren't easing. They weren't getting them into, scaling up in, the intensity, right? They were just giving them max dosage and nothing to help them out GI-wise. So that was something they found out early on. They kind of really pushed it with their marketing team, sales and marketing, to get that done, get their sales reps out there, constantly bombarding the doctors like, hey, take it easy. This is how you scale up, and this is the drug you should be co-prescribing with. So that helped out, but it took like 2 years really for that to, maybe even more if I think about it, to really get that up and running. So let's take a look here. We're at Puma. Let's take a look here at their website. I always love their website because it's basically something from like 2002. I mean, look at that. I mean, just not only is this like, could somebody just pop this in the, I don't know, Photoshop, just get me a little bit more going on here. Just some random doctors sitting, like standing with patients. Generics here. All right. Anyway, let's get into this. What? Why is it a third party's website? Oh, because it's okay. All right. Let's just take a look at the pipeline, like the actual visual pipeline. There we go. Sorry. So that's Neuralink's. So phase 2, and then notice they're right there. So they have some. I think they still have some room to grow here in terms of if they can get Neuralinks a little bit more. I mean, the Neuralink sales are probably fading, right? Or at least not year-over-year growth that we want to see. And they're going to have to. This is why I think they're a prime takeover candidate, because they have who doesn't want just instant revenue, right? Right off the bat, can probably do a better job and be a little bit less expensive on their side, right? Because they already have their own sales force out there, so they're not bringing a lot of expenses in just to keep pushing the drug that's already out there. They can work to see if it's a TKI, which I really think there's a lot more to go in terms of TKIs. Now, maybe there's a couple. I have to take a look at how many next-gen TKIs they're coming along. Maybe there's none. So maybe there's some room there. And then, it's Aurora kinase A inhibitor. This sucker. That was kind of put on the side. These guys picked it up cheap. And, I mean, if they could prove it's a good add-on to some of the more important chemotherapy drugs, breast cancer drugs, why not? Phase 2, maybe a few years away from really getting a bunch of these across the line. So you're getting something now, but then as a suitor, I'm seeing instant cash coming in now. There's something to justify buying it now, right? Rather than waiting. So you can get something now. That money's coming in. It's obviously not going to fully offset the expenses here, but it might be enough to, if one of these things hits. Not saying it's going to be a blockbuster drug or anything like that, but again, it's just you're bolstering your portfolio, diversifying. So keep an eye on PBYI. Anybody else that's really, Xeris I think is still a good one. Veracyte's really cheap right now for what they do. Aquestive is another great one to keep an eye on. Now, these are things I've been obviously following for a long time. Like CKPT, they probably need to get through the FDA, but if they do get through the FDA, watch out. ACAD's been, for the longest time, these guys are going to be, they're going to be your next, big takeover target. And we're talking, 6 years, 7 years now? Delcath is an interesting one. She's starting to look pretty good, too. Delcath is an interesting... Veristem's another one. So these guys... I remember when this was oh, it's all over. The data wasn't that great. And then, look, the data was awesome. Oh... They got you, too, because look how low of a volume they got you to think that this was all over with. So, they just trick all these people to thinking this and that. Adma's a great takeover target. even I mean a lot of these guys. Now IBRX, I'm not sure if it is going to be a takeover target. I'm sticking with them just for honestly, they have their next gen products are just still it's hard to beat. Ooh, Rigel. Yes, keep an eye here. They have revenues popping up, guys. It's probably your best buy. VKTX has got the juice. Rocket's interesting. It's trading a little too high for me. I might have to reassess. Still haven't adjusted off what I wanted to do. Amarin would be another one. Now, they don't, again, talking about... The thing about them is that they do their own generics. So the moment that their drug was basically, was on the market for like a week or something like that, it was automatically a generic. They already make their own generics. Now, that killed, obviously, their profits. Now, in the Europe, where they're still good in Europe. So... let me take a look there. I forgot. I gotta check their pipeline because I think they got more. They got more than just whatever. Come on, stop being stupid. What is this? Who? I just need your pipeline. What is, like, who designs these websites? Like, can I tell you something? If you're listening, Amarin, like, nobody wants, like, a website that was essentially designed for, what would this be designed for? Like, Jill's, like, photography or something like that. Like, you got Puma, which is like from 2002, right? And then I have to come over here and you guys are trying to be edgy or whatever with this, and it's totally unnavigable. Like, what is this? I don't care about the pictures. Like, what are you doing? Jeez, just... I know it's... you're going to say, well, just take your time. But, like, that's the thing. Like, why are we taking... Like, just make this clean. Clean, people. Clean. Our pipeline. Go. Why am I not seeing an infographic here? Alright, I guess I'll just go... Hopefully they have their present... I'll just go to presentations. And hopefully right at the top of presentations here, right? Like, why is this going like this weird blue tint? Okay. Oh my gosh. All right, so that's, yeah, by the way, Vazipa and Vasipa are both same thing, US, Europe. So European launch. I mean, US, yeah, so they're holding up in the US. And here's the thing: it's you have to. This isn't like a pharmaceutical where you just you just crack open the recipe, and then just you can just start printing these things out, millions of pills a day. You got to know what you're doing. You got to have the facility. You got to have the people working there that can do this. There's a little know-how that makes it the entry for generics, and I said this a long time ago. This is not an easy generic, and yeah, you're gonna have generics. I think Reddy got in on them, right? So, but now, am I? I thought they were working on something else. But am I right that they? Am I getting that they just kind of narrowed everything off? Building, yeah, they're not doing. R&D is nothing right now. They're not pumping. I thought they were working on something else, but maybe I'm thinking Esperion, which that would be another great takeover target in my opinion. Amarin. What a like. And the thing is for them, I was like all about having the like defending them. Like it is not. I don't know. Whoever the judge that came up with that, it's an obvious thing. Like it's not an obvious thing. It's not a fish pill. It's not a fish pill. You can go into this and say extract it out, and you can't find fish in it anymore. It's not obvious. You had to go and do the work to determine that a fish pill isn't the answer. These guys figured out, hey, this is what you really need. Yes, you can find this in these fish pills, and all these omegas, generics, they're in there. But the problem is, our idea is different than theirs. So I don't see how it is apparent because it's been around forever. Those other pills have been around for decades, and theirs wasn't. They spent, they almost, what was it? It was like a decade of R&D and studies to get this thing, to prove that theirs, they did all the work. And then somebody got a judge to say, yeah, but is it just like a fish pill? And it's like, no, it's not just a fish pill. It's not. I can't come up with a good analogy or like something to compare this with. But like just because the ingredients are found in something else doesn't make it the same. I don't know. There's probably something with like trees. I don't know. Maybe something with honey would be a great example. Anyway. How are we feeling here about this? I think I'll end it here. I'm getting all riled up and I'm not even trading. We're about 15 minutes after the bell here and I haven't done a thing. I'm not feeling overly excited about today, to be honest with you, so sometimes it's just better to sit on your hands, right? That's the third position, right? Oh, come on. Please tell me there's some buyout chatter. Another one to keep an eye on. I could probably go down the majority of this list and say that, like TSVT is probably a great buyout candidate now. BMY is probably going to stick right in there and just say, hey, we'll pay for it. I don't think NVAX has got anything to go with, but NVCR might be a good pick on the cheap. Twist, is that coming down? It's a good setup. I might have to buy in on Twist. It's such an interesting company. It's like something you just have to have in the portfolio, right? Yeah, I guess I'll have to do an update there. All right, anyway, I'm going to go with that. Ooh, EBS might be a good buyout candidate. Look at that. Grind, still just getting, just grind. These guys pulling money, right? But don't tell, like, again, this is just a great example. Don't tell me. Look at this. Perfect. It's perfect. Perfect, literally. Oh, we got since January 23rd, every trading day, just touching it. Starting in, it's been over a month of this thing just being in control here. Crazy. Might be too I mean, I'm going to probably wait a month to really start touching this guy, but at some point, it's dirt cheap. You take a chance, even just on a snapback move, you can probably get a 50% on a snapback move. All right, I'll end it there. I'm going to throw some stuff into the chat. Orgo, that's another good one to look at too, right? All right, we'll go there. All right, so anything else? No, not really. Take it easy. I'm looking at probably mostly buyout candidates now. I think that might be, anything that's GLP-1, weight loss, obesity, NASH, that's still in play. Anything metabolic, and then anything that looks like it could be a good buyout candidate, which is mostly at this point the bio booms. They're starting to get it. You can see the bids are just coming back in. All right. Anyway, I'll be around. Set some stuff in the chat if you need anything to go over. And as always, stay healthy.